peep comparison video. If you're like me, when it comes time to choosing equipment for your bow, you do the deep dive and try to figure out what's out there on the market and try to find the product that's going to take care of the needs that you have when it comes to accuracy, making it a little bit easier to shoot a bow and enjoy archery a little bit more. The reason I'm doing this video is in the past I've had trouble finding a peep that really helped with my accuracy, really helped decrease that feeling of tunnel vision, and had trouble finding a peep that worked well in low light conditions. So a few years ago I was out hunting in Kansas and I experienced the dreaded peep blur. I was up in the tree stand, had a buck and a doe working my way, and there was probably about 15 minutes of shooting light. As that buck came broadside and was within 15-20 yards, I pulled back, anchored, got into my peep sight, and found that I couldn't see my pins and I couldn't see my full sight housing, and I couldn't even locate the buck. As I came out of the peep and was looking, then I could see perfectly fine, and I was back into the peep and looking, and I couldn't understand what was going on, but I didn't like it. So I tried to find another peep on the market that would help things out, and it would work as you go to a bigger peep, but then I had problems with accuracy because it wasn't aligning with my sight housing that well. So in this comparison video, we're going to compare 3 peep sights. One's going to be the Hamskea Raptor peep, the other one's going to be the R.A.D Super Deuce 38 peep, and the last one's going to be the Clear Vizion Peep. And the Clear Vizion Peep is the peep sight that I've come up with, design and features, and I've been hunting with the last couple of years, and I've had great success with it. And we'll be able to discuss the features in all those peeps individually and compare them with weight, what the material they're made out of, the type of design features that are in those peeps, talk about the price of the peeps a little bit, discuss the features and how well it helps to solve peep rotation, the design features in the peeps that help with glare, and the features in there that help in low light conditions. So there's a couple features in the peep that you really want. The color is going to be an important thing that we'll discuss about also. But what's nice about the archery industry is there's a lot of information out there now, and great people out there that share that information and make it available for us to consume and help answer the questions that we have. When it comes to the importance of peep sights, there's a couple people that have talked about the importance of the peep sight. One is Chris, and the other person is John. So before we get into the deep dive of comparing all these peep sights, I want to share some information that they've shared about peep sights.
You take this away, and a lot of bad things can happen, and it makes it a lot more difficult. So what I'm getting at is those are the 2 most important things. And the most important thing, George Ryle's quote here, the most driving factor of accuracy, the most important part of like tournament archery, shooting super well while bow hunting, is your peep sight. The peep sight's the driving factor of accuracy and everything. If your peep sight is slightly not lined up, if your peep sight's constantly crooked, if you're getting bad glare in it, if it's in the wrong position that's making you have string contact on your face, there's so many things that go along with the peep sight because it is the driving factor of accuracy. It's the driving factor of hitting what you're actually aiming at.
I want to talk to you about peep sight perfection. Your peep sight is so critical to your accuracy because this is your rear sight. So during coaching, a lot of times I tell people, how is your front sight, rear sight alignment? And the best way to really think about what the peep sight really is if you think about an older style rifle, iron sight rifle that has a post on the front, and then at the back of the rifle you've got that rear rail, and some of them had a hole that you would look through, and then you would center your post in that rear hole and then aim on the target. For archery, it's essentially the same. When you're at full draw, your peep sight and your front sight have to be perfectly aligned in order to be accurate.
Okay, let's get this comparison started. So there's going to be two parts to the comparison. There's going to be the comparing the different features of the peep sight, but then I'm going to take each peep individually and get them in a bow and compare them in different shooting scenarios. It's going to be during regular light and see what it looks like behind that peep and give you a subjective view of it. Gonna hold it up towards where the sun is and be able to see what type of glare that peep is producing. Gonna do some low light testing to really see if the features in these peeps help with peep blur. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put this all together for you. So the first peep, well, the three peeps. The first one's going to be the Hamskea Raptor peep, and the next one's going to be the R.A.D Super Deuce 38, and then the final peep we're going to compare and talk about is going to be the Clear Vizion Peep. And what I'll do is we're going to be a little bit of a ranking system, but I'll get all these features on the board so that you can see them and talk about each individually, and then I'll give you my final review on what peep I like the best. Here's the information about the peep sights. As you can see, the Hamskea peep weighs 18.5 grains, the Super Deuce weighs 9.25 grains, and the Clear Vizion peep weighs 10 grains. Hamskea's made out of aluminum along with the Super Deuce. Clear Vizion peep is a carbon fiber peep with nylon. The design features of the Hamskea: there's a 2-string grooves, a 35 degree and a 40 degree, has a Teflon coating, also has a conical shape with light baffling technology into it. Super Deuce just has 1-string groove set at 38 degrees, and then it has a center ridge that helps with glare and a little bit of peep rotation. The Clear Vizion Peep has 1-string groove. It has a 2-in-1 peep design. It also has a conical center design to help with light transfer and glare. And then it also has upper and lower viewing areas that increases field of view, and those also help improve light transfer. Price for the Hamskea is $19.99. Price for the Super Deuce is $9.99. Price for the Clear Vizion is $24.99. For peep rotation, there's a design in the Hamskea with a conical design that minimizes the view of when peep rotation happens. It still is able to maintain that center circle. Super Deuce does not have that conical shape. Clear Vizion Peep does have the conical design, so that if there's a little bit of peep rotation, you can still see a perfect center circle. When it comes to glare, Hamskea still has a small amount of glare. Even with their Teflon, it's that Teflon coating in the bifolds. It's that aluminum peep that produces glare. Super Deuce has a small amount of glare. That center ridge inside of it helps minimize the glare. Clear Vizion Peep almost has no glare. So when it comes down to design features, the Clear Vizion Peep has more design features that improves field of view, helps with alignment and accuracy, and virtually has the least amount of glare out of all three of the Peeps. Okay, we're outside testing some glare. It's a bright sunny day. You can see the glare on my camera. So this bow has the Clear Vizion Peep. This one has the Hamskea Peep. And then that one has the R.A.D Super Deuce Peep.
Okay, got a bright sunny day outside testing glare on these Peeps. What I'll do is start with the R.A.D Super Deuce and basically rotate through the sun around almost in a full 360 degrees. Get some sunlight on the back of the Peep and then hold it up towards the Peep. Right now there's a ton of glare coming off the aluminum of the sight. Start with the R.A.D Super Deuce. I'll let you know when I first start seeing some glare. I'm trying to just keep it horizontal. There, as I get lined up with the sun a little bit more, there's a little bit of glare. No glare. Even towards the rear of the sight, there's really minimal glare on the surface, even though I can see a lot of glare off the surface of the sight housing. The back of the aluminum Peep really isn't glaring that much. Now we'll direct it towards, so there's more glare. It's not taking out my whole sight picture, but it's there. Then I'm getting a lot of glare off the sight housing. The Peep isn't blocking. Next is the Hamskea Raptor Peep. We'll do the same thing. Yeah, here's where the glare is starting to come in as I point directly a little bit more towards where the sun is, and I'll move it up and down. I can see glare in all the baffles. Rear. So really no glare off the back of the Peep housing, even though it's made out of aluminum. There's really no glare that's bothering me. Okay, we'll go ahead and point it a little bit closer towards the sun. Yeah, I got glare there, glare there. So it's not overwhelming glare, but there's some glare in all the baffles of the sight housing. And then I can still see glare coming off the sight housing. But there's glare in all the baffles. It's not bursting across so I can't see, but it's noticeable there. Then we have the Clear Vizion Peep. So no glare off the back as I keep it horizontal and go through. There's one little spot here towards close to the sun. There's a hint, but I wouldn't even call it much of a glare. So definitely between the three of them, the Clear Vizion Peep has the least amount of glare out of all of them. What I also like about it is the feature that aligns over top of your sight housing. The other Peeps going around it, but I can see glare coming off of the sight housings of the two other bows. But the Clear Vizion Peep, as it aligns over the top of it, it also helps block out the glare of your sight housing.
Okay, for the next part of the comparison video, I videoed behind the Peep sights trying to give you a bird's eye view of what it looks like to look through the different peeps and see how it lines up with the sight housing. The first one that you'll notice is the Hamskea peep, and that 530 seconds aligns really well around the sight housing. What I noticed too is that it seems like it's larger, so from the sight housing out, it takes up some room, and at animals at close distances when they're filling your whole peep sight, it's difficult to get on target quick, and it makes it feel like you're having tunnel vision that's going on. The second peep that will be in the video will be the Clear Vizion Peep, and you'll be able to notice the slots above and below and how it looks more open and how it looks like there's more light transfer coming through and more image, and you'll notice how it aligns directly over top of the sight housing and almost makes the sight housing disappear. But even with a little bit of movement and feedback, you can tell how you can really get it to align real well. And then of course the third one will be the R.A.D Super Deuce Peep, and you'll get also a bird's eye view, just basically looking behind the peep sight and looking through to the sight housing, and you'll notice similar things. It fills up a lot of space around your sight housing, so it creates that tunnel vision.
Okay, here's the setup for the low light testing. I'm going to be just inside the door of this shed, basically to simulate what it's going to be like inside a blind, or maybe under some thick canopy up in a tree stand. What I have is an object set out there about 20 yards. It has a blanket over top of it. The color of that blanket's to resemble the color of a white-tailed deer or another deer. So when the sun goes down, I'm going to pull each bow back, look behind the peep, and give a description of what I'm seeing and what changes at 15 minutes. I'll do it again, and then again at 10 minutes and 5 minutes, and give you my feedback.
Okay, it's 20 minutes past sundown. That was the Hamskea Raptor Peep. It's starting to thin down and blur a little bit. I can still line it up with the side housing, but it doesn't fit perfectly. There's a R.A.D Super Deuce. The R.A.D Super Deuce appears to be the same as the Hamskea Raptor Peep. That's a Clear Vizion Peep. The ring also looks like it's starting to thin down a little bit. I can still see its side guys to line up, and it looks like it's combining to look like one full peep around it also. Okay, we're at the last few minutes of shooting light. See if you can hopefully see me here a little bit. At very last light, the R.A.D Super Deuce and the Hamskea Peep I could see, I could line up, but then when I got looking at the target, it was difficult to see the target. I still could. I had to fight a little bit longer with the Clear Vizion Peep, but it looked like it was one peep now. It lined up with the housing about the same as the other two peeps, but it looked like I could see the target just a little bit better than the other two.
Hey everyone, just want to say thanks for watching this video. It was really enjoyable putting it all together and get behind each of these peep sites and comparison and comparing them. I'd also like to say thanks to Chris B and John Dudley for the content that they put out there. Go over and their channels and watch some more of their videos. Last thing I just want to make a comment about is a peep sight. The features in a peep sight that make it really effective. The color being one of them. You want a black peep sight. Basically, you don't want anything distracting your eye in normal shooting conditions or in low light shooting conditions. That black, our eye doesn't pick up that color, it picks up everything else coming to it, and that's what you want. You don't want to be distracted by a different colored peep sight. Another feature in the peep sight is one that doesn't produce any glare. You don't want glare bursting across the area where you're trying to visualize, across the target, across your sight housing. Another feature that's important is that if there's a little bit of peep rotation, the way the peep setup, if it has a conical structure through the center of it, as it rotates a little bit, you're not going to lose that circle, and you're still going to be able to line it up with your sight housing. Another feature that's important to have in a peep sight is the way that you can view the object. Like the Clear Vizion Peep, I think it stands out above the others, is its field of view. You really don't hear that much when you're thinking about peep sights. You hear field of view when binoculars and scopes and everything else, but a great field of view allows you to get on target quicker. You can get set up in your shot routine and be able to get that pin on the spot where you want to as you start pulling through the shot. Usually you only have 4, 6, maybe 8 seconds before you really start that pin doesn't hold quite as steady, so you want to get on target quickly, and that's what the Clear Vizion Peep does. Also, for me, I find that I don't like tunnel vision. I basically want to be able to line my peep up by sight housing, but I don't want to feel like I'm looking through a tunnel, and all the other peep sights on the market feel like it just blocks out so much of my view. With the Clear Vizion Peep, you're able to align directly over top of your sight housing, which takes out glare of your sight housing, but the feedback of the Clear Vizion Peep has improved my accuracy. It feels like I align more accurately, and it's almost like micro anchoring. So with those features, I'm gonna have to give the win and clear advantage to the Clear Vizion Peep with its design, its function, and its ability to function in low light conditions. You can see more about the Clear Vizion Peep on Vizion USA, which is VIZION USA.com, and check out my Instagram, Vizion_archery, and leave some comments. Let me know what you think. Give it a try, and let's enjoy archery a little bit more and make everyone just that much better at archery with the best peep sight on the market.